Thank you for making Saints Central
your black and gold home for the New Orleans Saints.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees are Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. We up in this thing. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all joining us for this episode of the Coma.
Yeah.
And we up in this thing, and we got a special guest tuning into the Sports Coma tonight that'll help us preview the Saints and the Steelers. We're talking about 11 year. Well, he's been in the game 11 seasons. Former Pittsburgh Steelers great, 2-time Pro Bowler. You got him on the squad today. You see them old footage right there, Brother Levon, of you knocking these guys around, man.
I'm just doing my thing, man. What I was paid to do, what I love to do.
Yeah, what was the most satisfying of them? I see you knock Troy Aikman on his butt. I mean, which one of the favorite ones you like to get to when you play the game?
Well, I don't know if there are any hits, but I like the Bam Morris hit when I stood him on the line of scrimmage. But probably my best hit was probably against Natron Means in the 1994 AFC Championship game.
There it is right there. I see one when you rolled
so hard
around.
I spun out in midair. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
No, not that one. That's not the one. The one I hit him, it was near the goal line, and I rocked him. And
I see.
That was probably my favorite hit.
Yeah, man. You was quite.
I did a little something.
A little something, man. You tearing them guys up over there, man.
We got to do what we got to do.
That's right.
What's going on with you?
Oh, nothing much, sir. We got you on this one, man. We're going to get into some of the breakdown with Brother Kirkland. First and foremost, thank you for joining us on the stream. We got some interesting, a very interesting thing going on between our two clubs right here. We talked, in the show we was talking about how our teams look 3-6, and the Steelers are right now 2-6 right now, and in the cellar of the AFC North. So I'd like to get your idea, your thoughts on the squad going into it as we open up the injury report here. And we can see our squads, man. We got quite a few people. Ingram, Jarvis is set up to go, but we know Ingram, Lattimore, McCoy, and Andrews Pete are out. Pete Warner's out of the game. Got several questionable guys there. And former the Steelers have William Jackson out. Witherspoon is out. And they got a few guys that'll be ready to go. So let me get your thought process on the matchup with the Steelers. We know from an offensive standpoint, their numbers are not very good offensively, averaging 15 points a game over the last, 8 games or so, and they're giving up 24.6. Let's talk about the offense. What do you think about what's going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers offense we're picking? We know y'all got a young quarterback at the helm.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You got a young quarterback. You got an offensive line that has been probably below average at best. Your running back, Harris, has really not run the ball like you thought he would. I mean, you see the guy, you look at his height, you look at his weight, you think like, man, this guy's going to really be a powerful back, kind of the mold of the Pittsburgh Steelers, but really hasn't done what you thought he was doing. It's just a young offense that hasn't found its way just yet. They do have some pieces that are intriguing, but just haven't really put it together just yet. And, on that level, you got to understand that everybody's talented. Everybody has players. Everybody got guys. But it has to be a good chemistry. It has to be something with a relationship with the offensive line and the running backs, and a relationship with the wide receivers and the quarterback. And it's just not it's not yet there yet. But I think as, maybe next year it'll be a whole lot better, but hasn't really gelled very much.
Yeah, I was looking at that, and like when I seen him put Kenny Pickett in there, I just showed his numbers is not very good, but that's what you expect out of a young quarterback coming in there. Najee Harris hasn't lived up to that, but I see Deontay Johnson, Pickens, and several other young guys. Freiermuth, the tight end, is the second highest target for him. What about the offensive line there, Brother Kirkland? What you think about that offensive line? Is that it seems like a lot of no-name guys there. What do you think about that line? Still the same as the rest of the position groups, a young, inexperienced type of situation?
Yeah, well, the inexperience always cross the line, and when you have that, normally you're going to have some issues. Probably one of the toughest positions to play, these guys has to play as a unit, not individually, but as a unit. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time, and you don't always hit on offensive linemen. You get plenty of guys that, really, they're not quite there yet. I see that's how they are right now. It's just, when you're averaging only 15-something points a game in a league that really emphasizes offense success, and you're only averaging 15 yards, well, there's an issue. There's an issue. And, I think Coach Tomlin is a very good coach, but, you got to have the pieces, man. What they say, you got to have the Jimmy and Joes. It's not the X's and O's. It's the Jimmy and Joes, man.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, very true. And speaking about Coach Mike Tomlin, Brother Levon, speak to me about him right now. I've been hearing a lot of rumors about the Steelers looking to replace Mike Tomlin and all this kind of stuff. What is your perspective on Mike Tomlin's job situation?
I don't really see that. If that happens, it would be a shock to me. It would be a surprise, because Mike Tomlin has been one of the better coaches in the NFL. Really had pretty consistent records. I mean, maybe not Super Bowl runs or anything like that, but been pretty consistent. I feel like if Mike Tomlin, if they fired Mike Tomlin, he'd get a job the next day.
Oh, you better believe it.
So that's how good he is. So I don't know if the Steelers want to get rid of him. I think really the Steelers needs are just better personnel as far as players are concerned. I don't think Mike Tomlin is the issue. Maybe you may do something more dynamic on offense, but you got to know what you got, and what they have. And especially when TJ Watts went down, he lost one of your better defensive players, and he really makes that defense go. And when you lose him, you don't really have a weapon or a destructive weapon that can help you out. So it's been tough, man. And, when you don't have a good defense, you don't have a good offense in the NFL, it's tough, man. It really is. You're going to have a tough time, because I think most defenses struggle now in the NFL. I think it's an offensive league. And if you don't really have a good offense, you're not going to be able to catch up or, maintain.
Indeed. Very, very true words. Speaking from a defensive perspective, you of all people know how important it is to have a good offense, man. How you used to run through some of them offenses I seen you playing in during your day. Man, I remember Greg Lloyd, man. Greg Lloyd was one of my favorite old school linebackers, man. The way Greg Lloyd played the game, man, and Kevin White. And I remember you were a member of that linebacker core. You and Chad Brown, wasn't it Chad Brown? If I
It was
remember
Chad
correctly.
Brown. It was Kevin Green. You got the color. You're in the colors, but it was green instead of white.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right. So yeah, I'm reaching back there, man. And it's
Right.
yeah. But I remember, man, you used to you played a couple of games against us, man. I remember when you knocked what was that, Jeff Blake on his butt? I remember you,
I know somebody on his butt. I don't know who it
yeah.
is.
You
Yeah.
knocked a lot of guys on their butts.
You know, when you play linebacker, you have a tendency to get a chance to knock people on his butt. That's why I kind of like the position.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, we had really good defenses, but the offenses were different. It was more in the box.
Uh-huh.
Guys were kind of doing behind the center. Now you got more shotgun, so it kind of really defeats the blitz zones that we have, even though people still
Right.
run them. Yeah, so we were kind of innovative before. We were kind of before our time. You know, we had the linebackers that we really used very well, and we let those guys. You know, the linebackers were the guys who made plays up front. You know, and
Right.
we had guys like Rod Woodson, Carnell Lake,
Oh,
guys like that in the back
yeah.
end. So we were good defense, man. We really probably didn't have the offense. You know, we ran the ball pretty effectively, but you know, we wasn't really just scoring like a lot of points. But I don't think really a lot of people were. You know, it
Right.
wasn't a whole bunch of scoring back then. So it was definitely more of a defensive league. Now it's more of an offensive league, and definitely you see the emergence of the tight end and how big these guys are, how well they can move. It's really tough for safeties and linebackers to cover these guys. It's like trying to cover a power forward in basketball, and you're only 6'2", and those guys are 6'7", 6'6". You know, you're gonna get dunked on a lot.
Right.
So that seems to be kind of the mold of what the NFL is all about. Spreading out, being offensive friendly, especially being quarterback friendly. You know, it's just kind of tough for a defense. It's really, and then you can't do some of the things that you used to do, as far as hitting that quarterback just a little late. You know, maybe not blatantly late, but maybe after about a second or so, giving that guy a little nudge to let him know you're going to be there. But now you can't really touch him like that. So yeah, I think it's tougher for defenses to play. And so now that's why you see more teams scoring 30, 40 points.
Yeah, indeed. I remember I don't know if you've seen that, Brother Levon, about that, what happened with the Tom Brady sack when Grady
J-
Jarrett,
yeah, great jet. Yeah.
he sacked him, and then they said that was roughing the passer. So I was like,
Uh,
what are they talking about here? It's just that it's that kind of officiating besmirches the game. I mean,
yeah.
if they don't want you to touch the quarterback, just put a flag in his back pocket.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a physical game. It's the physicality of it, what it was known for, what it was all about is you taking that out of the game. And I think you really take the essence out of the game. you
Indeed.
know so I mean, we have, when guys play football, they make that decision that they're going to play the game. They understand the risk, they do. And I'm not saying anything about concussions, because that should have been addressed, no question about it.
Right.
But I mean, you gotta have to play the game. I mean, and it's tough. I mean, I feel for defenses now. I mean, I love the when I play, because it was kind of like, man, oh man, hey, you got to win your individual battles. It was tough on everybody. But now, not so much. It's more slanted to the offense, and if you're a defensive player, man, you just it's a tough game.
Yeah, you got to make your adjustment, roll with it. Yeah, that's very true. Speaking of defense, let's get into the Steelers defense. And we know, I'm seeing reports that TJ Watt is supposed to be coming back for this matchup right here. So you got a few guys on defense for the Steelers. And I guess you would have to say the Steelers, the best unit on their team, I guess, would be considered the defense. From my perspective, Cam Hayward's there, and you got Miles Jack. I don't know if he'll be available to play in the matchup, but Minka Fitzpatrick, they have some very talented guys on defense. Talk to me about the Steelers defense. What you like about them?
Yeah, they got some talented guys in spots, but the problem with that is they don't have enough guys.
Mhm.
The defenses you think about with the Steelers, were always usually pretty balanced defense. They had guys that were good players. Especially the line. The defensive line had guys who can get after the offensive line, and then you had the outside linebackers
Mhm.
who really made a lot of hay as far as sacks. Your inside linebackers were always good against the run and could really cover. And like I said, I think they don't have enough of those guys. They got one guy in one spot, one guy in one spot, and maybe another guy in one spot. They may have three really great caliber players, and then the rest of them are average at best, I think, in my mind.
Yeah,
And I think that it showed up. It's showing up. And it's something that as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, you're not really accustomed to. You're really accustomed to great defenses and getting after the quarterback. And that has not been the case. And it's tough when you can't get after the quarterback, and especially in a 3-4 scheme, when you only have one guy who can rush the passer or really is known as a threat. It's tough, man. It really is, because they're going to just slide the protection to his side. They're going to double team him all game long. And they're going to, the other guys are not really worried about it. And I think that's the problem with the Steelers. When the Steelers are really good, they always have two outside linebackers who can really rush the passer. They got a nose guard who's really good, who can stuff them run. And they got two inside linebackers normally that can make plays. In this case, they don't really have that. And that's why, secondary, they struggle a little bit covering guys because they don't really, they can't really rush the passer. And if you can't really rush the passer, man, makes it tough on the DBs.
indeed. Brother Levon, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the Saints game last week where the Ravens held the ball, man, on the Saints defense for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
That and people were looking at the defense. I said, nah, man, not too many defenses in the NFL will be able to do anything when they're out there for 40 minutes. That's just a bad look, man. So
Yeah. Well, I hate to interrupt you, but
no, it's fine.
Defense is energy.
Right.
Defense is about being aggressive and going after it. And when an offense can hold the ball on you and they can take the ball and get drives of 10, any double-digit drives or even 9-play drives or whatever, man, it really wears down the defense. So, yeah, you're absolutely correct. When you're out there for that amount of time,
40 minutes out of a 60-minute game.
Your defense is they're just gonna die down on you. They're just gonna, because it takes a lot of energy running around after people that know what they're doing, and you have to kind of react to what they're doing. So, yeah, that's tough. That really is. I didn't know it was that long though, man. Jeez.
I know. I was like,
those guys probably need like a week off.
Man,
After that kind of effort. Goodness.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. The Saints kind of wore weight. Offense couldn't help them in the game, man. They were carrying the water for the special teams and the offense that particular game. But we hoping to have a better bounce back performance in Pittsburgh. So talk to me. What do you think the keys to victory for the Steelers, the young Steeler club, to beat the Saints? What do you think about that?
Well, I think they have to get something going, whether it be the run game. Everybody's always like, you got to get the run game going, but you got to get something going, play action pass, show them different looks. I think if they can drive the ball, get, average about 7 to 8 yard, play drives, then they're going to be good because they can get some yards. But if it's 3 and out, you're going to struggle. So they got to be able to sustain some drives, be able to get some points out of it. Doesn't matter if it's touchdowns. I mean, you always want touchdowns, but if you can get some points on multiple drives, that'll be great. And, they're going to have to, and then, Kenny Pickett's going to have to really, those interceptions and those turnovers, you can't continue to have those, because if you do, it's going to be tough on your team. So, it's about those things. They're not an offense that's just going to light up the scoreboard, so they can't worry about that. They just have to get some drives in, get some points. And you haven't asked me about the defensive side of it, but they got to keep it close. They do. They
Right.
got to make it a fourth quarter game. They make it a fourth quarter game, they got an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean they got some real good players defensively, and I know they got a lot of potential young players on the offense that I was looking at film on, and like he was talking about Pickett. Pickett has 8 interceptions against 2 touchdowns, so he definitely has to kind of play a better game. Let me get your perspective on. You've been watching this team. What's several players, Brother Levon, that you can speak about from the Steelers that are players that we need to watch out for?
I think if TJ comes back, you definitely have to watch out for them. But I mean, I think Haywood you have to watch out for. It's kind of some of the familiar names. I'm not really that well versed as everybody that's on that defense.
Mhm.
I think that they're young, and you can see sparks of okay, these guys got something, but it may not be this year. They may take their lumps. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I think they got a chance against the Saints. I mean, who knows? But yeah, they're just a young defense that has a lot of growth. They just need to grow up.
The AFC North, right now they're sitting in the cell. Our team is in 3rd place right now. We have an opportunity with a win to be able to climb it, maybe get 2nd place in there and tie up with Atlanta. We actually have the tiebreaker on those guys. In the AFC North, you guys played Andy Dalton for many years there, and I know
Right.
a lot of the teams that from the AFC North coaching personnel are very familiar with Andy Dalton. What are your thoughts on Andy Dalton from that time frame into now?
Oh well, I always thought Andy was a capable quarterback. I never thought he was a superstar quarterback.
Mhm.
And I just really think you need, and this kind of how it's gone now, that you need that guy who's outstanding. You need a quarterback who's outstanding. But I mean, Andy has not been a bad quarterback. It's just, and back in the day, he would have been really decent, you know. And I think he's been really decent. That's why he's in the NFL. But he's not. He's not a superstar at all.
Right.
And at this point in time now, he's a good backup. A guy that you want to come in if your guy goes down and you can relieve him for 2 or 3 games. But I don't know if he's a guy at this point in time in his career that can really carry an offense.
Right. I consider this game more complimentary than anything. If you have a strong running game and Andy Dalton can't complement it, but carrying something, I would definitely advise against that. We had several opportunities that we've seen over this season here about Andy Dalton in certain matchups, and his passes tend to be inaccurate. He missed on several touchdowns through the last several weeks or so. The last game he missed on the open touchdown. So he's been kind of iffy, in the game, but his statistics look good because a lot of that's piled up with the garbage time stats that he gets on the back end of the games that make his stats look better than what they are. But
Right.
he's, a lot of people have kind of grown weary of him, and they want to move and go back to Jameis. We know Taysom Hill is a guy that has helped the Saints, but we have not consistently gotten him involved in our offensive game plan. But a lot of people are telling me and saying, "Oh, Q, where's Jameis? Q, we need to get back to Jameis." Let me ask you this, brother Levon. What do you think about Jameis Winston, the quarterback? What you have any perspective on him?
I always thought Jameson was a really talented guy as far as. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Okay. I thought Jameson always been a very talented guy that can sling the ball. I think that his problem is his decision making has never been that great.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm talking about from the antics he had in college. You Quarterback is a little different in ways that you want your guy to be able to make great decisions. He's not a great decision maker, and it shows up on the field. I mean, we had like 30 interceptions, but then again, he had 30 touchdowns. So the guy is something there, but he doesn't make good decisions, and he hurts you more than he helps, in my
And
opinion.
and that's what and Dennis Allen made the choice to go along with Andy Dalton over Jameis Winston, and said Jameis was 100% healthy was his verbiage A lot of people don't think Jameis is 100% healthy right now for 4 broken vertebrae in his back, and he had a torn tendon in his leg or something to heal in a matter of over a month. That's pretty amazing if he's 100% healthy in over a month. Just over a month span of games, that's pretty amazing. But he still goes with the backup, and I guess, like you said, he feels Dalton gives him more of a chance to win, that's pretty tough because they committed $20 million to Jameis over the next couple of years, so that can be quite problematic.
Well, it's all a gamble, You hope you make the right plays. You hope you make the right decisions in personnel, but that's for Jameson getting that kind of money. I mean, you're like shaking your head, but there's spots where Jameson seems promising. He kind of fools you a little bit. He's like, yeah, when he has a great game, he has a great game, and then when he doesn't, boy, he has a terrible game. So I think sometimes it's hard to make those decisions. You just don't know. And it's hard to, quarterback position, it's hard to get, man. To get a good one, you have to be fortunate and know what you're looking at and know what you want. And a lot of times, half of those quarterbacks don't pan out. And Jameson's still better than a lot of quarterbacks. That's the thing.
That's true. I agree with you on that. I think he's a lot better. I think in Sean Payton's offense, he was trying to get Jameis to make better decisions, and he did that.
And then too, it is coaching too. I've seen guys that the right coach can make them better, especially the ones who believe in them and have confidence. When you have a coach that doesn't have confidence, and they can say what they want to on camera, but when you know that you have you're going to get yanked if things don't go well.
Right.
I don't care who it is that plays with your head, that plays with your mind space, and that's something that, as a quarterback, especially, you don't need. You need total confidence when you are at that position, and when you don't, and you have a little doubt, and your bosses don't really believe in you, you start to press a little bit. You start to try to impress them and do things that you shouldn't do. So I think that's part of it as well.
Yeah, Dennis Allen, man, has made a call right here, and that it's definitely a mental aspect in it that we often overlook, man. These are people, after all, and we're dealing with the pressures of what's going on in the team, and they feeling like they're supposed to be the guy, and then next thing you know, they're not the guy. You're right. It's some mind game that can be played on them if they're not strong enough to kind of peer through all of that and focus on what needs to be done.
If I'm a player, I'm going to go to the coaches. I'm going to be like, listen, man, trust me to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to feel like I'm going to be yanked every time I make a mistake, or it's a minor mistake and you're making it more of a mountain than it really is. And sometimes it's not the quarterback's fault. I mean, it's the whole offense, but we give those guys so much credit, but we give them so much blame as well.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm Jameson, I honestly would go to the coach and say, man, trust me. Trust me to play. Right. If you don't trust me to play, then don't play me. Just don't. Because I don't want to be out there wondering if I'm going to get yanked or something like that. Those football players, any athlete, they have a lot of pride.
Right.
And you have to be careful how you address those, address that man. I mean, and also he is a man too. It's not like, he's a boy or anything like that. He is a man. And so you have to treat him as such.
Right. I agree wholeheartedly. Shout out to the family out there. We talking to two-time Pro Bowl linebacker, 11-year NFL veteran, Levon Kirkland, man. He put that pain on you back in the day, man. You seen Levon Kirkland coming at you, man. You just hold on to your helmet, man. When you played at your weight, brother Levon, you was what? You was what was your weight? You was like they say about 300 pounds. Is that true? You played at
more so around like maybe 260, 280.
Okay. So you was basically a linebacker, defensive end. You was like you would play nowadays. If you was playing, you would be like a defensive end playing that.
Well,
you'd be like Malcolm Roach. You familiar with Malcolm Roach?
Even then, I mean, even back then, I was the outlier. I was a guy that was probably bigger than most inside linebackers. But the thing was, I was probably I could probably move better than most of them could move.
Yeah.
And it was just a unique quality that I had. And it worked for a long time. It worked for 11 seasons. I mean, maybe my 11th season, I was going a little downhill, but I was just older. I felt like, people just mention it, but I think if you look at the game, I mean, I played pretty consistently. Um,
Hmm.
I never missed a game, never got hurt, could play the run, play the pass. I mean, I could do it all. So I think that for my size, I was a very versatile athlete that could do everything. I think the size was just something that was, just kind of people just like, oh my gosh, I never seen that before. But I
Yeah.
mean, the God blessed me to do it, so I did it for 11 seasons. So, I look back on my career and I can be proud of it.
Man, hell yeah, man. I remember watching you play, man. I was like, man, we don't want to see that guy. Them Pittsburgh Steelers linebackers, they put pain on you, man. So we
Yeah,
watching the Dome Patrol. That was
yeah, the
their
Dome Patrol was all that, man.
yes.
I love the
Yep.
Dome Patrol.
Yep.
Yeah, they were a special group, but I thought we were pretty good too. And I think the only thing with us and the only thing with you guys was, you don't win a Super Bowl, people tend to kind of not remember.
Right.
So I feel blessed that people even remember who I was when I played. So it was all good. It really was.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I remember you, brother. I remember you playing against us many times, man. And I remember how the linebackers played because it reminded me so much of the Dome Patrol, Fast and Furious defense, getting out there playing with a lot of emotion, having fun. You would once the linebackers got their hands on you, they can play the pass, all the rush. You wasn't getting beyond them. I mean, we really enjoying the Who That Nation, good defense, and we've been
Oh
seeing
yeah.
it kind of spotty here nowadays. But from a historical standpoint, the Dome Patrol to us is the antithesis of what great defense is about. Man, I remember Mike Singletary said that. Mike Singletary put in the NFL documentary was saying that the greatest defense in his mind, Mike, this is Mike Singletary saying that was the Dome Patrol. He said, and had they had an offense, he said they would have won a bunch of Super Bowls. That's what Mike
Uh,
Singletary said.
yeah, there was no question about it. Man, their defense were just stacked. And I think if you got, when you put four linebackers out there, especially back then,
Hmm.
it was just hard to do anything. You couldn't really
Yeah.
get outside. You weren't going to get anything really inside. They were going to cause some mass confusion. They're going to really rush that passer from the outside. So yeah, it was tough to get it. But the name of the game is scoring points. And if your offense can't score points, it's hard to win.
Yeah, indeed, man, indeed. Look, and we're talking about the great defense, man. That's what I enjoy. Hopefully, we can get back to that because the Saints currently are built as the offense is a complement to the defense, and we've had a really good game against the Raiders, but really off and on, we just can't seem to jive consistently. That's in terms of the you do score predictions, brother Levon.
What's that?
Do you do score predictions? Do you predict the scores of games?
I really don't like doing score predictions. I don't.
Okay.
Man, if I could do score predictions, man, I'd go play the lottery all the time. I just
You
can't
and me
predict.
both. We just missed out on $2 billion lottery, man.
I just can't. I
You heard
can't.
about
I'm
that?
not. Yeah, I heard, man. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. But if I was one of those lottery winners, I would. God, man. I guess they have to announce who the person is or who won it. But man, I would not want that. I would like. Could I get my money and nobody knows?
Right. Well, I think
Yeah.
here in California, that's one of the states where I think you can be anonymous. So yeah, you're right on that. But
Yeah.
listen, brother Levon, listen, I don't want to hold you, my brother. I know you're a busy man and you got to go, but listen, man, we appreciate you tuning in on the Sports Coma today, sir. Please tell the family members where they can check you out and your
Well,
projects that you got going on, my friend.
God, I got so much stuff going on. I'm actually launching a website pretty soon that everybody can go on. It's LevonKirkland.com. And then also you can catch me on all the other social medias. Uh, I'm also on Inside Blitz with Levon Kirkland. That's a podcast. Bleav in Clemson football is a podcast. And you just, reach out to me. I'm very friendly. I control all my social media. So if you just go to Levon Kirkland and reach out to me, I'll reach back out to you.
That's the man right there. I appreciate you, Brother Kirkland. Much love to you, my friend. God bless
Thank
you.
you, my
And
friend.
you be
All right,
safe
bro.
out there.
Be good.
Thank you. All right. That's Brother Kirkland, man, chiming in on the Sports Coma. Much love to that brother. We appreciate him. Chiming in. Real cool dude, man. Real cool dude talking to that brother, man. And shout out to the fam, man. I appreciate y'all being in this thing right here as well as we getting ready. And like Brother Kirkland was saying, man, about the black and gold getting ready for the matchup against the Steelers, man. The Steelers, man, I ain't gonna undersell anybody. We know the Steelers are a young club, 2-6, 1-2 at home. And the Saints, I think the Saints get this victory, family. I really do. I think they get this victory. I think ultimately, I think the Saints will end up winning this game. But in essence of that, I would like to see how the Saints handle, after the win, because I think they do beat the Steelers. The Steelers are a young team. Not saying they don't have a chance. God knows I ain't saying that. I know better than to say that. But I think that the Saints should win this game, and I think they will win this game. And then, of course, when the Rams come around the week after that, I want to see how they handle the win, because like we've said, like Sigler put this tweet out about it, and I got to give John Sigler a shout out. And every time I say it, I give him a shout out because he made us aware of the fact that after every Saints win, the Saints are 0-3 after every win, which speaks to like I've been saying this for over the last week or two. Attention to detail. The Saints are not showing attention to detail to be able to carry whatever they're doing in these wins over to the next game. They haven't been able to do that. Like even with that big win against the Raiders, look what kind of performance we had against the Ravens. That was not good. We didn't carry that momentum forward, and that's something that we have to be able to break, and learn going forward if we're going to have success and ultimately get in the playoffs. We're fortunate to be in a very bad division right now. We know Atlanta lost last night. Atlanta lost to the Carolina Panthers. So that helped the Saints out because the Saints need to take care of business Sunday against the Steelers. That'll put the Saints in second place, because we hold the tiebreaker on the Falcons. So we're still in that thing despite that fact, but the Saints have to be able to put together a string of wins, and that's also predicated on Dennis Allen. My goodness. Yeah, I know, and you're right, Tay. No, the Saints do struggle with rookie QBs. You're right, my brother. You are absolutely right. Yeah, Brother Willie, shout out, bro. He says, "Big Q, that reflects." Yeah, I know, bro. We talked about that last night, fam. We was talking about, man, and I just be getting so heated at times, man. Especially, what's up, Tasha, baby? Shout out to you. Man, listen. I just look at it like family. I don't know. I looks at it. And I say to myself, I'll be looking and I say, man, I just don't have faith in Dennis Allen, because not that I don't like Dennis Allen, it's the fact that his moves to me they're just not, they're not head coachy moves. You know what I'm saying? He don't move like a head coach is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like if you watch a head coach like a Mike Tomlin or Jim Harbaugh or some of these other guys, that they the head coach do, and they walk in the room, that they the man. You know what I'm saying? You got guys that have questions, and he will get them in place. He'll give you the answers. Do Dennis Allen, if you walk in the room, do Dennis Allen look like he takes control of a room? And yeah, you see what I'm saying? And I know at times if you want to lead people, you might not be fortunate or blessed enough to be articulate or have a strong enough aura about yourself to be able to lead people, regardless of who they are, to success, And if you're not that type of person, usually if you're smart, you surround yourself with people that have those type of traits that can help you and assist you. I don't see such a team around him. Like if we talked about the advisor commentary, that the guy needs an advisor. He always spoke about old coaches. Maybe you need to get them on the line and bring them up in here to go over what are you doing wrong and why this team is inconsistent. Going over that. He just seems like a guy that is exhausted to me. He looks like he's just, instead of actually doing the research to find out what I need to do, he's kind of a fake it till you make it type of dude. And you can't fake it till you make it in the NFL. I mean, you might be fortunate enough to win 3 games this year, but you lost 6 of them. This is a team that's it's a playoff team. They have good enough players on here. We brought Tyrann Mathieu. We brought real good players on this team that are not looking pretty good. Now, is that because of you stretching yourself too thin and you're not totally trusting your staff? As a head coach is the overseer of the team. He hires guys and gives guys jobs, tell them to do the jobs. If they don't do the job right, he talks to them, give them a chance. If they don't do it right, he get them up out of there or demote them and promote the guy into a position that can do the job better. Me personally, I think that Coach Richard should be the defensive coordinator. That's me. Why? No disrespect to Ryan Nielsen. He never done it before. Not saying he wouldn't be good at it, but Ryan Nielsen was the defensive coordinator over the Dome Patrol. I mean, no, not the Dome Patrol. It could be the new Dome Patrol, but I'm saying the Legion of Boom. That's what I meant to say, the Legion of Boom. He was the D coordinator over that squad. That qualifies you to be the Saints D coordinator in my mindset. So let's get him on up in there and make Ryan Nielsen his assistant. You know, let's do that. Because I like how Coach Richard talked. He did an interview today where he's serious money. When you talk to Coach Richard is confident. He doesn't get, he gets riled up when he's coaching, but when he's explaining the game, he got a very unique teacher, professor way of explaining the game to people that might be novice of the game, but he has a unique perspective and a communication skill set where he can reach you in all three manners. He can motivate, teach, and elevate you, not smash you down, but lift you up and tell you what you need to do. He can tell you what to focus on. I like that. That shows a lot of leadership. So Coach Richard should be the defensive coordinator. Stop this co-coordinator foolishness and stop calling the defensive plays and give it to Coach Richard. Let him do it. He's way more accomplished as the defensive coordinator than Dennis Allen could ever be. That's what I'm thinking. So Dennis Allen, that'll save you some time and give you the opportunity to focus on what you need to focus on. I think Pete Carmichael could use an assistant or two or somebody in this room, somebody to remind him that, hey, man, you got Taysom Hill and you need to use Taysom Hill the same every game, whether you have to write it down on a piece of paper or not. Every game, you should have Taysom Hill in there at least 10 reps, And also, if you're going to activate these running backs, use all your running backs. If you got 3 running backs, use them. Use the running backs. Use them. You got Jordan Howard. This guy is a north-south runner in the mold of a Latavius Murray that averages 4 yards a carry. Why is he sitting on the practice squad? And why when you brought him up to the active roster last game, he didn't get 1 carry? Why? Well, Q, they ate the clock. Yeah, but that's because the offense came out trying to pass the ball and doing all this kind of stuff. Want to throw the ball 10 yards down the line of scrimmage as opposed to 2 yards north-south down the field. So I could check it down 10 yards down the line of scrimmage, 10 yards down the line of scrimmage, not 10 yards up the field. So no, we got to change this up. And if they want to stick with Andy Dalton, everybody know what time it is when Andy's Dalton. It's really strange. We got Andy Dalton playing quarterback. We playing all these AFC North teams that know Andy Dalton and know how to kick his ass. They know his tendencies, And you heard what Brother Levon was saying about them, about Andy Dalton. They know what time it is with Andy Dalton. They've seen him for what, like 10 years? They know who this guy is. So if we're going to get success, it has to be through the running game with him as a compliment if you're going to keep him at quarterback. What happened to Rashid Shaheed, getting him involved? See, none of these players are consistently involved every game. That's on the offensive coordinator, which ultimately falls on the coach. And then, of course, the question was asked, why aren't these guys involved? And like he said in the previous interview, we just got caught up in the flow of the game. What the hell does that mean? Don't you have a plan that you have in place you have to implement? Well, each one of these players should have certain plays that they implement through every game to keep them involved. And the Saints have to find that balance. They have to find that balance where they can operate out of. Now we're missing several offensive linemen, which will be even more difficult to do what we need to do. So they're going to pretty much operate out of the shotgun. They kind of taking what Pete Carroll and Zach Taylor and Kyle and Cliff Kingsbury and all these guys are doing, which is operate out the shotgun because they eliminate the blind side, which gives the quarterback the ability to see more field. And like Solomon Wilcox, shout out to him, said on the show, when you out of the shotgun, you don't have a blind side. You can see everything. So they keeping Andy Dalton many times in a shotgun. But I think the Saints really need to start using more of their jumbo package and kind of get that run going And then when people start piling up on that line, you start going up top with Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave, and guys like that. We got enough weapons to win games consistently. And guys will trickle back. Eventually, if Jarvis doesn't play this week like he played last week, he's on tap, look like to play, which is good. So we'll have people trickling back, Trevor Pinion and guys like that. But with Pinion back, man, I'm looking forward to them activating Pinion. He coming on right at the right time because we got a couple offensive linemen going down. And we need his meanness, his aggressiveness to set tone for the Saints milquetoast mentality offensive line. A lot of those guys are just nice guys. They don't play with mean streaks or, like a Trevor Pinion do. A Trevor Pinion will grind you into dust. And we need that type of nasty disposition to help set the offensive line. Now, he's just a rookie, but his contribution would be to help set the mentality or the attitude of the Saints O-line. If we can adopt Pinion's nasty disposition, discipline-wise, not fighting or spitting and all this kind of stuff and doing extra stuff after the whistle. But if Pinion gets activated, which chances are he is, and he gets into the game and he plays, his contribution would be to the meanness of the offensive line. And hopefully that can spread across the offensive line as we look to kind of get more behind our running attack. So it's going to be a game. Now, the thought process on what's my score prediction? I know Brother Levon was like, he doesn't give score predictions. That's why I always ask people when they come on the Coma about score predictions, but I think I would give mine. I don't know if I don't think this is going to be a blowout, man. But I would have to say I think the Saints probably will end up winning this game like 21-14 or 21-17 or 24-17, something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 34-35-10 or something like that. But then again, I'm more conservative on this side because I think I don't think they'll blow out the Steelers because the Steelers got a lot of people. They're getting TJ Watt back according to reports that I'm seeing, that he's coming off the IR. He himself said on social media that he's supposed to be trying to get into this game. They got Cam Hayward there, who's a baller. They got Minka Fitzpatrick there. They got several other really talented people. I don't know if look like Miles Jack will be going because I thought he wouldn't be in the game, but Miles Jack looked like he might be in there. Let me check to see what Miles Jack is. Yeah, he fully practiced. So he was DNP'd Wednesday and Thursday with the knee, and he fully practiced, went from not playing to fully practice. So they're going to have their top tackler, which is Miles Jack. Miles Jack is their top tackler, the former Jaguar. He's their top tackler playing for them, and they get TJ Watt back in the contest. So they get some of their better players back to help set that tone. And I do expect the Saints to win the game. But once again, you're looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line. It is a very unknown offensive line. And that's a problem because no-name offensive lines have really handled the business on the Saints. Back up running backs have really done a hell of a job on the Saints too. Backup running backs run all over the Saints. So do they do it this spiel after a disastrous performance against the Baltimore Ravens? I think the Saints have had a backup against the wall. They'll be playing with a certain degree of upsetness or being upset. So I think they'll come out with the win against the Steelers. I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think it'll be a game where the Saints will get the win maybe by 7, maybe 10 points, but that's it. And that'll help them to improve to 4-6 on the season. Now, after that, I won't put the cart before the horse, but I'm going to be looking forward ahead for the Rams to see how that goes because I really want to see how the Saints react to winning the game. If they get the win, winning the game, and then can they put 2 wins back to back? Question for the chat, fam. Let me ask y'all this, man, before I get on up out of here. For the rest of the family out there, shout out DJ. What's up, bro? DJ says 24-17. Yeah, that's right around. What's up? Shout out to you, DJ. Good to see you, my brother. Big ups. All right. King Ball says if we had a good quarterback, we would dominate the NFC South. DA not the answer. Dalton not the answer. JW not the answer. Even with the injuries, we could make it work. Now, if you remember Gardner that day at the office. Yeah. Listen, let me put this on the Great Saint Think Tank family members' mind for a second. Y'all tell me, did Dennis Allen, this is the Sports Coma question of the week. Y'all remember I used to do that? What's up, Carlton? Shout out to my brother, Carlton. Shout out, my brother. Good to see you in the chat. Big ups to you, bro. Carlton says, what was that, Carlton? 20-17. Thank you, bro. Shout out to you, bro. Let me ask the Sports Coma question of the week, fam. Y'all put it in the chat. Did Dennis Allen ever win 2 games back to back? Did he ever win 2 games in a row as an NFL head coach? Did he ever win? That's the first part of the question. That's the first part of the question. Did Dennis Allen ever win 2 games in a row? That's the Sports Coma question of the day. Sports Coma question of the day. Did Dennis Allen and I'm talking about not just for the Saints, obviously, but for the Raiders, when he was the head coach of the Raiders for the 3 years or the 2.5 years or whatever it was, did he ever win back-to-back games? All right. Thank you, Steve. 23-12. Thank you, bro. Saints. All right. What's up, Uncle Paul? Shout out to my brother. All right. What's up, Trav? Trav says no. All right. Shout out to you, my brother. Brother Willie says no. All right. Young City, hell no. Uncle Paul says no. Gundam says nah. Shout out to you, bro. Brother Gardner says no. All right. Smallville said he's lost 5 in a row. Okay. Okay, brother Carlton says no. Okay, thank you, Elite. Shout out to Elite, man. Much love, brother Elite. Shout out. All right, Gundam says no, 2 wins. No, 2 wins after 1 when he was too busy cleaning. Jarrell, shout out to you, bro. Said no. Thank you, Tasha, baby. Shout out to Tasha, man. Please hit the like button, family. Hit the like button. And feel free to share the show on your social media feed, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit. Wherever you socialize, take the Coma with you, baby. Shout out. Thank you, Tasha, baby. Shout out to you, my dog. Shout out to you, my dog, Sean. All right. So that's what I was saying. I was asking the Great Saint Think Tank because I don't think Dennis Allen, and maybe I should look this up right here. Matter of fact, let me look it up right here. Give me a second here. Let me look this up. Dennis. I'm pretty sure y'all did the research here, but let me see if I can, because this is interesting because we're going to be asking Dennis Allen to do something that he never did before, which is win two games in a row. So maybe I look at all of his games. I don't know if they got something where I can look at all the games that he played. I mean, he was as the head coach. Let me see. I guess I'm trying to see if I can see a game log on how all the games that he's coached to understand. That's the only way I would be able to get that information. Because if you look at here, head coach going back of the Raiders, he was there for 2.5 years. He was 4-12 in 2012 and 2013, and then he went 0-4 in 2014, the 3rd year. Then he got fired, and then the next year the Saints brought him on. Sean Payton said, "Come on down here, come on back to me," because he left, but he was with the Saints in the prior stint, as you guys know, from 2006. He was under Coach Payton. And then he kind of elevated himself from offensive defensive line coach. He kind of crawled up in the ranks. He went secondary. Then he became a coordinator, got a job with Denver for 1 year. Then he jumped to the Raiders, which was premature. He was terrible out there, absolutely terrible. Had 8 wins in 2.5 years, but he never stayed. See, these guys got like a little thing. He, as bad as he was, he found a job the next year with the Saints again. Came right back to the Saints as a senior defensive assistant for 2 years. And I said, they're going to run all. Actually, he got a promotion twice. He became the defensive assistant coach, and then he was hired to replace the defensive coordinator that next year because Ryan, what was it? Not Rex Ryan, but it was Rob Ryan. Was it Rob Ryan? It was Rob Ryan, the brother, the crazy brother. Both of them crazy, but it was the one with the long hair. And that he was doing this thing. But when Dennis Allen got fired and he came back, Sean Payton brought that boy in as a senior defensive guy. And then next thing you know, he was the interim D coordinator the same year. Then he became the official coordinator. And then he was there for 6 years in a row before he took the job as a head coach. And that's where he sit at 3-6. So I guess I would have to kind of look and see if I can find a game log of every game that he was a part of as a coach. And I'm gonna have to do some research off show to kind of go through that to see if I can find some more information about that. But I would be thinking, I was like, man, has this guy ever won back-to-back contests? Because and if he hadn't won it, that'd be telling for me as a person that knows the Saints to say to you, yeah, we got a guy as a head coach never won back-to-back contests, despite the fact that he's been involved with the NFL for 20 something odd years. How long this son of a, you know what, been doing his thing here on that sucking up NFL money? He's been on that for a long time. But anyway, for him not to have won back-to-back games as a head coach shows a lot. It's telling, because it takes, you got to have certain principles and set that, you know, to be able to latch on, knowing how to study film and to take this and magnify it in the next matchup. If you notice, the Saints have these letdowns, like you have the best win of the season followed by one of the worst losses of the season, which speaks to the temperament of Dennis Allen. And my spiel is that we all know that, and I've said this the last show in TSC Q&A, that we said that the team takes on the identity of the head coach. Well, if that's the case, that's what you're dealing with. If you put another competent coach over the top of this team, this would be a winning team. This team would relatively be a 6-win team as opposed to a 3-6 team. But like I've said, sometimes if you don't know everything about something, you got to hire people to do it for you. It's like the guy that might not know how to build a house or to fix a car. Guess what? If he's really smart, he know how to find the guy to build a house and fix the car for him and pay the man accordingly. You see what I'm saying? You know, that was like the old story about an old rich billionaire that was trying to, I think that was Ford, they was doing that too. They took him to trial and said that he was crazy. It's an old story. Y'all put yes and one in the chat if y'all remember this story. And I think that was Ford. They was trying to, they took him and sued him and said that he was crazy and all this kind of stuff and all this type of stuff, and how he disproved him in court. This was actually something real that happened, that he got up there, and when he got his chance, and they put all this evidence out there, and then he just, when it came time for him to talk, he just got up there and he told him, listen, I got a desk, and at my desk, there are several buttons. And each button, when I hit it, is tied to a line, and it connects and tells people, it connects and gets the people. If I might not know how to build this, I got a button there that can get somebody that can do it for me. If I don't know how to do this, I got a button, and that stuck with me. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all remember that story. Who was that? Who am I talking about? Is that Ford that they try to sue? A lot of people probably don't remember that. Y'all tell me who that was. Was that Ford, the car maker in that story? Because I forgot. It was a long time ago. I remember reading about that, man. I remember reading. Very good story. Y'all look that up, man. And the guy basically proved him wrong and proved that he wasn't crazy, because he might have not known how to build this or build that or do this, but do that. But he had the ability to get in contact with the people that could and do it the right way. So you don't have to be a person that know how to do everything, but you might need to know, having a skill set where you have the ability to find those people to make sure it's done right, that know what they're doing. You get what I'm saying? You follow me on that? Yeah. All right, Verlin. What's up, Verlin, man? What's up, bro? Good to see you, man. He says, pull it up by the team. Cue the year and team schedule, 2013 schedule. He sucked. Oh, yeah, I know he sucked, bro. I know. I ain't got that type of time. I got a few streams I got to do. I got some Ring King content I got to get to. Some Tough Tigers stuff I got to do as well. So, but listen, man, all I got to say is thank you, Verlin. Shout out to you, my brother. Hope everything doing good. What's up, Debbie? Shout out to you. What's up, my brother? Tori in the building. Shout out to you, fam. Good to see you, bro. Shout out. All right, Ryan, what's up, bro? Shout out to my dog, Ryan. Molly Mall, what's happening, bro? What's popping, bro? Shout out. Yeah, but this is the thing. What's up, Slim? Shout out to my brother Slim, man. But this is the thing, man, that I'm looking at going forward with Dennis Allen. When he does these interviews, and he did an interview today, I listened to it before the stream started. And I was contemplating, should I play this? And I'm like, nah, it's just going to piss me off, because none of the interviews come with an energy. It's no energy there when I'm listening to Dennis Allen. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a loser energy when he anticipates somebody that has a winning mentality. They have a certain electricity about them. They don't have to be, had snorted 2 lines before they do the interview. But I just know that it's an energy that flows off of people when they, when you're trying to get some people riled up for a football game. You can't go in there emotionalist, because a lot of the teams that are really good know how to channel emotion in a positive way, where they can be able to add that to what they're doing and push past you. So once the momentum get flowing, that's a very difficult thing to stop. It's a very difficult thing to stop momentum, man. Once it starts flowing for the other team, once they possess it, it lifts them up and make them do things they're not even capable of. You You'd be like, man, I was really playing good. Yeah, you got caught in that flow, that good energy. But with the Saints, man, I don't anticipate any letdowns. I think the Saints do beat the Steelers. I don't think they blow the Steelers out because the Steelers is not a good team, family. The Steelers is one of the worst teams in the NFL. So I'm not anticipating the Saints to lose to them. But we'll get a win here. But really, I'm kind of and I really don't want to look past this team, and I'm not going to look past them. But I'm interested in finding out if once this win occurs, does Dennis Allen have the ability to put 2 wins together? In the 3 previous weeks, or the wins rather, we're 3-6. After every win was a loss. That is telling, especially when you blow out the Raiders and then you had the best win of the season followed by one of the worst losses of the season. I'll say the Ravens loss was. What y'all? Let me ask the family that. What was the worst loss to you, family? We had 6 of them to pick from. What was the worst one to you? I would say it was the Ravens loss. And I would say because the Raiders win took you up so high, and then the Ravens loss just dropped you off and you free fall and hit that concrete. You see? What do you think, guys? What was the worst loss of the season to y'all? You guys agree with me that that is the Ravens loss is the worst one? What do you guys think? Chime in on that, man. All right. What's up, Tyrone? Shout out to you, bro. Good to see you. What's up? What's up, OG? I see you there, brother. Shout out to my brother, the OG. What's up, Trey? My dog Trey said one of the worst teams in the NFL. Yeah, they are, bro. Shrine, what's up, baby? He said, what a good energy at DA. NDA. I don't know, bro. I think everybody has some good energy. Like he was doing some positive things as a defensive coordinator under Sean Payton. He was doing what he was supposed to because I think that's when he was in his element. But when you become a head coach, it's a lot of other moving parts that you have to be aware of. And it's not just your little defensive unit that you have to be concerned about. You got the different position groups inside it. You got the defensive line coach, the linebacker coach, and then you got the secondary coach. So we know that, you got that. But when you become the head coach, you are not only just over the defense, you over the special teams and the offense and all of their little peoples, So you got to have these guys like with the defense. I think he's trying to do too much on the defense. Just get a defense to Coach Richard. Coach Richard is he's the most accomplished defensive coach that you have on the team. The guy was like I said before, he was the architect of the Legion of Boom. He was over that defense. He needs to be the defensive coordinator, make Nilsson his assistant. Stop calling the defensive plays Dennis Allen. Then put a foot in the ass of Darren Rizzi and make sure he gets that right about kick return and punt returns for our guys. If they can block half a damn, then we have Rashid Shaheed can maybe get one and take it to the other side. We can get a score on it. But those Saints blockers are awful. So maybe he need to get on him, and perhaps he needs to get somebody to help Pete Carmichael keep a steady game plan as opposed to his wavering, these old whiffy waffle ass game plans where you got Taysom involved and Rashid Shaheed involved on this side, and then next moment you don't. And then they ask, well, why the inconsistency in getting your playmakers involved? Well, we just got caught up in the flow of the game. Nah, man, cut that out, bro. No, ain't no more of that flow of the game nonsense. I don't want to hear that. You need to have these guys consistently involved over a period of time throughout all these games. If you had done that, the Saints would have won at least 2 more of these games. We wouldn't be sitting up here at no 3-6. So attention to detail is something that the guy just simply don't have, man. So I'm looking, man. All right. Shrine says it was the Panthers matchup. Okay, thank you, bro. All right. Tramal says, I don't know, Q. Tomlin might out-coach DA. Yeah, anybody, a glass of milk can out-coach Dennis Allen. He ain't doing nothing. All right. Tyrone said the Giants matchup. The Giants? Okay, Ravens. Hands down. Lost hands down. Yeah, I know, Slim. I agree with you, bro. Yeah, I have to say, Teflon said the Panthers game. Yeah, that was disappointing, too, because prior to that, before all that, nobody had lost. We talking about the Matt Rule Panthers. You make a compelling argument about the Panthers. Even though I still go with the Ravens matchup because you coming off the Raiders win and then you just fall flat against the Ravens. That's why I do it. But the Panthers hadn't won a game and they was under Matt Rule. The games that they're winning now is because they got the new coach there. But this old Panthers team was under Matt Rule. And he got a win against the Saints. So that was pretty stinky. Ant-Man said Arizona. Willie said Ravens. Tramal said Panthers. All right. Beverly, what's up, Beverly? Shout out to you. She said Ravens. Thank you, baby. All right. Michael says Carolina. OG said it was the Cards. Okay. What's up, J Rock? Said the Cardinals. All right. Carlton says them too. Okay. Okay. Shout out. All right. Devin says, hey, Q, I just finished reading an article by Underhill. He said in Triplet where they sat down with Jameis, and boy, did they did him dirty. Promised him the job no matter how good the offense looked. DA wrong. Okay. That's what was saying. See, bro, man, see, we talked about this. We talked about, you know, why would Dennis Allen, man, and see what's crazy is that Jameis would say that right now. Like if it was a tight room, you know what I'm saying, you wouldn't be able to get that out of him. So see, there's fractures already. It's fractures already because Jameis Winston is the third string quarterback of this team right now. He's not on the injury list. He's not deactivated so he can get help. Jameis Winston has been promoted. Now, I guess demoted would be the more accurate word, to the third string quarterback. Not the second string quarterback, but the third string quarterback, because Taysom is ahead of him as the next quarterback. Taysom's going to throw passes ahead of Jameis Winston. Jameis is not going to throw any passes. But the fact that Underhill and Triplet got Jameis Winston to admit that during the season when the Saints trying to win shows not a tight room, shows no allegiance. And should there be show allegiance to a person that's not being royal or real to them? So we know DA has those sneaky, snaky tendencies because Keenan Lewis called him out. Don't forget what Keenan Lewis was saying about Dennis Allen when he called him out. Remember that? That's who got Keenan Lewis up off the team. It was Dennis Allen, and Keenan Lewis was dropping game on Dennis Allen about that time. So, you know, stuff come back to roost, man, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I'm not surprised by that, man. You know, but it's interesting that Jameis does say this stuff and the Saints trying to win. And he's saying for the season, we sticking with underdog. He ain't saying until we know for certain Jameis is safe enough to play. Like he came back later and said we weren't about the overall health of our players. He said something like that today. Wasn't mentioning Jameis. They were, I think it was referencing to Jarvis Landry and several other players. But that doesn't surprise me the least bit. That'll be saying, yeah, but you committing $20 million to Jameis Winston, and then you pull his backup Andy Dalton and put him in there and do that. So that don't surprise me about Dennis Allen, man. It really don't. Shout out to you, Devin. All right, what's up, Coach Tab? Shout out to you, Queen. Says biggest loss was Panthers. I didn't expect to win that one because of mobile QB Lamar. Okay, so she said we didn't have a chance against them. Okay. The Panthers, well, people make a compelling argument about the Panthers, Coach Tab, to be honest with you, because that was Matt Rule's team. He stinks, and Matt Rule beat the Saints. So, I mean, that was terrible, man. That was awful right there. All right, Ryan says Tomlin had 2 weeks to build his revenge game plan against the Saints to finally break our undefeated streak about the Steelers. All right. Saints for life. What's up, bro? Says Panthers and Ravens were worse losses. It's how we lost those games. They beat us across the line. Yeah, we also helped them beat ourselves. What's up, brother Hennessy? How you doing, bro? He said, I've seen enough fire Dennis Allen. All right. Jarrell said the Vikings. Yeah, how about that one? I forgot about the Vikings. The London game. The Saints are those games. The Saints were in those games. And should have won those games, man. It just speaks to how pathetic, man, it is, man. Really. Tyrone said the main problem, Big Q, is the offensive line. I know in the last game that was most certainly the problem. They're just so up and down, bro, and it shouldn't be the case. Debbie shout out says Debbie says the Ravens. Yeah, that's what I feel. And people saying that about the Ravens because the Raiders game is the Raiders game. Like the Raiders game was such a compelling win that the Saints eviscerated and dominated the Raiders across the board. So they took the Who-Dats way up into the top of the top floor, the observation level of the skyscraper. And then next thing you know, they pushed them off on the side all the way on down to the ground. That's what it felt like when we played the Ravens. So they lifted them up to let them down. You know, so don't be lifting me up without no parachute. Let me tell you something, Saints. I'm going to stay over here. I'm going to stay on the ground. Smallville said, shout out to my dog GM Kev, because GM Kev left me a message. He said, Q, I ain't buying that. He said they got to show me, and we like to win, but we wanted to make sure that they can do it again. And I don't know about Dennis Allen being able to repeat a successful game plan to end into getting, to get wins back to back. That's why I was asking the family members. That was a serious question. Has Dennis Allen ever won 2 games in a row? Because if he hadn't, that speaks a lot to preparation, man. Smallville said, "Who that Q?" Man, I hate to be Mr. Negativity, but we're talking the L. We're taking the L, okay, Sunday because of Dennis Allen. I hope not, bro. That he won't be able to escape that when you lose to one of the worst teams in the NFL. You won't be able to get from up under that one. Yeah, I did say a glass of milk. I am mad since Carmichael got too many plays on the Waffle House. But yeah, he ain't got his Waffle House, man. He ain't cooking with nothing. He ain't cooking with nothing. All his eggs burnt, his toast is. Nah, you ain't eating that Dennis Allen's his stuff. You ain't eating over at his place. But yeah, it's crazy. Snub says, remember Q, they wanted this. I know, bro. I know, bro. I know they wanted. Yeah, that's right. You're right, Slim. They wanted Jameis. You're absolutely right. Tasha says, Q, I feel Dennis never wanted Jameis anyway. They were forced. He was a fallback option for him. Y'all absolutely right. And it's become abundantly clear, isn't it? You know, a lot of the who-that's was saying, Q, the Saints wanted Deshaun Watson. They bottomed out all of the contracts as many as they could do to free up that money, and they chased Deshaun Watson to the ends of the earth, and he was playing games trying to go with Atlanta. When I seen him go to Atlanta, and I said, dude, what are they doing? Atlanta's no, that ain't. And when I seen that, I said, pull all of the connections to him and screw that guy. Forget him. Get rid of him. No, dude, the Saints shamelessly ran up there with their cups. Please, sir, can I have more? And he just laughed at them. I'm going to the Browns. Not before I sit out 11 weeks, though, because he was doing some creepy shit. But the reality, man, is that you're right. They didn't want Jameis Winston. They fell back to him and gave him the money. And because they had no else, they backed themselves into a corner. Now with Andy Dalton on the team, this guy literally alienated his $20 million quarterback. What a complete joke. You can't at this juncture of time alienate anybody. And you shouldn't have said that we're going with Andy Dalton for the rest of the season. Why would you put yourself in a corner like that? What if Dalton gets hurt? Then what you gonna do? What if Dalton throws 3 or 4 interceptions in the contest? Then what you gonna do? Huh? You gonna go to Jameis then? And then, of course, like the brother, like Devin was saying about the article, I'm gonna have to read that article. I might cover it on the stream. Might cover that article on the stream. But yeah, Tasha, you're right, baby. Shout out. Yeah, that's crazy. What's up, brother Elliot? Shout out to you, bro. Good to see you, bro. Shout out. Debbie says, do the Saints have a shot at making the playoffs? They do. But the thing about it is like, what's crazy about the Saints, and I'm going to just say this and I'm going to dart out. What's crazy about the Saints family is the fact that the Saints they're not consistent. They are a mirror image of what their head coach is. They are. They're inconsistent. They're not smart at times. They're confused. Totally unpredictable. They're lost. And isn't that all of those characteristics define Dennis Allen to a T? That's the Saints' problem. They're emulating the head coach, and the head coach is not a stable man. He's not. He's not a guy that knows how to cover all bases. He's not attention detail centered. He's not. He's a guy that misspeaks all the time. He don't apologize for shit. He just calls terrible ass whippings, bad days at the office. Dude, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. He should have apologized to the Who Dat Nation. He should have got his ass up on that podium Monday night and said, family, first of all, I want to apologize to the entire Who Dat Nation. I'm sorry this team wasn't prepared to play. That's on me. But I promise you, we're going to get this fixed. I promise if I have to bench guys or cut guys, we're going to find the right collection of players to get to the playoffs. I promise you that. We're going to do all that we're supposed to do to get in the playoffs. But then again, the only promise that he did make was against the Arizona Cardinals. I won't let him live that down when people be forgetting that shit. When he came out and told people, we will beat the Cardinals. Y'all remember that? And then they ain't even have his back. They ain't even beat the Cardinals. But the thing is, man, what's crazy is the fact that he don't apologize for shit. You notice that? He stinks it up. He had 6 losses and he never apologized, not one of them. No, he never apologizes. Screws up stuff. He just screwed the stuff up with Jameis Winston. Talking about he was 100% healthy. He could have just said, listen, we're going to go with Andy Dalton until Jameis is healthy. People could have lived with that because that still opens the door for you bringing him around. But when you say he's the starter going forward and Jameis Winston's 100% healthy, that made Jameis look really bad. And I know it pissed off his team because word on the street, him and his team was pissed off. It's like, what you mean? I'm not 100% healthy. Why would you tell him I'm 100% when you know I'm not 100% healthy and you going with Andy Dalton? Is making it look like that Jameis is a turnover machine and that everything everybody was saying outside the business was correct. Outside of it, he was decent. And Dalton gives us the best chance to win moving forward, which is foolishness. Andy Dalton is not a better quarterback than Jameis Winston. We all know that. If you give Jameis Winston, a healthy Jameis Winston, a decent running attack, I'm pretty sure he can get you to the playoffs at the very least. So he doesn't apologize for anything. He misspeaks all the time. He doesn't apologize for anything. Apology is not in Dennis Allen's vocabulary. He just stumbles, bumbles. He's a Three Stooges ass guy. He stumbles and bumbles his way from scene to scene. Yeah, dumbass. DA stands for dumbass. And then when he gets in front of the podium, it's double dumbass. That's what it is. DA, double dumbass is on the mic. Yeah, what you gonna do about the win against the Pittsburgh Steelers? Well, look, and it's all this. Well, look, no, well, you look here, you. About to get on. Don't tell me to look. I ain't looking at what you saying because you ain't saying nothing. Well, look. Who got good sense gets on there and asks questions like, well, look. People asking me questions. Hey, Q, what do you think about this? Well, look. What you mean, well, look? What the hell are you talking about, man? Well, look, and he don't say nothing. He don't say nothing deep. What I'm looking at? What we looking at? What we doing? What we doing? Well, look. You know, what's the injury situation with Mike Thomas? Well, look. It's all the same shit. As Jameis, what you think about Andy Dalton? Well, look. You know, the Saints running attack didn't go as well. Well, look. The defense was on the field for 40 minutes. The offense didn't do its job against the Ravens. Well, look. Man, what dude got sense as a head coach? Well, look. You know, Coach Payton used that, but he ain't use it all the damn time. He threw situationals up in there every now and again. Good Lord. Well, look. Shout out Marley. Marley said, Q, what's up with this revolving door players coming in and out of the roster? Well, look, Maul. Well, look. Let me tell you something. I have absolutely no answer for that, brother. Well, look. Maul, thank you for the super chat, bro. And well, look. All I can say, bro, is that, man, they did this stuff and we looked at what they brought in. They activated Nephi Sewell to the active roster. They picked up a few guys here. They brought Derek Kelly back. They got some familiar guys and some new guys that might be something down the line. They signed a running back. Used to play at John Curtis. That was interesting, but he won't help you this week. The game plan for the Saints is to get the running game online. The coach should be looking at getting the running attack online by using multiple running backs. I think that you can unbalance the defense, but if you give them different looks, like if you have Alvin Kamara, and we can put Alvin Kamara not just as the running back, but you can put Kamara as a wide receiver and have another running back in there at the same time. You can roll in Jordan Howard and have Jordan Howard operating behind the quarterback with decoying Kamara as a wide receiver or putting him in the slot, or decoying him so the defenses pay attention to him, or spread him out so you can hit him with the heavy running back. Just using imagination like that. I think the key to the Saints from an offensive perspective is to get the running attack online. They should be looking at jumbo plays and using a sixth offensive lineman, whatever you got to do to get guys out there to move the ball so you can set up the play action. We've got to get that going. And even when the Saints, you see, they've identified and they love operating out the shotgun like a lot of teams did to us this year. Well, let's add the running back. I know they're going with the dives and all that kind of stuff, but we really need to, have Jordan Howard out there for us because he's a guy that played a lot. We need to do that, bro. No doubt. Thank you. Rich says, Q, I really believe DA is uncomfortable having a black QB back there. After 3 games, you lose your job and your replacement is no better. What's that to say? Well, look here, Rich. Let me tell you something, bro. I just think Dennis Allen don't know what he's doing, bro. I'm just gonna keep it real. I don't know if he don't like black quarterbacks. I don't really know about that. I don't really know him like that. But all I can say is that I just think he don't know what he's doing. I think he's fooled by Andy Dalton's statistics. And listen, fam, I've said this before, and I'm gonna keep saying this. A lot of Andy Dalton statistics, it comes out of the garbage times of the game. Andy Dalton is what, 2-4 as a starter for the Saints. And he said, well, Andy Dalton 2-4, Q, but he got almost 1,400 yards, 10 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. A lot of that stuff comes in the garbage time moments, just like in the last game against the Ravens when he threw that 40-yard touchdown to Jawan Johnson, and the Ravens thought he was out of bounds, and he got that. He snuck in that yardage on the back end and an extra touchdown to get him to double figures. You see what I'm saying? A lot of the games where the Saints were out of the games and lost the games, because he was piling up stats in the garbage time, and this dude being fooled by garbage time stats. That's what I'm saying. And that's because he ain't doing his homework on what's really going on with this team like we do. I'm about to say something. I'm about to say something right quick. But thank you, Brother Rich. I don't think the dude is a racist or the guy that don't like black quarterback. I just think he's a fool. I think he's an idiot. I'm sorry. I just think he's a dumbass. I'm sorry to say that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say that. But then again, maybe I'm not sorry to say that. The hell with him. All right. Shout out. What's up, Brother Eugene? Shout out to you, fam. Appreciate y'all, man. All right, Trav says, did y'all hear Andy throw Callaway? Yeah. Andy Dalton is him and Dennis Allen go well together because both of them don't want to handle no smoke. They don't want no smoke. You be out there screwing up and none of them taking no responsibility. We got to play better. No. Before you get to the we, you put your smelly ass up there. The me, and the rest of the team wasn't one throwing the ball. It was you. When did you turn into a Frenchman all of a sudden? I thought you was born in America. Then all of a sudden it's we. No, it's you. It's your ass. You the one that threw that ball and led that guy. You was throwing the ball away from guys all game long. Remember the several passes that Chris Olave had to reach out and grab for? How about when he was checking it down to Alvin Kamara, and Kamara had to bat the ball back to himself to make the catch? Y'all remember that? Alvin had to tap the ball back to himself because this dude throwing the ball everywhere. He throwing it all out front of him. You can't put no we. This son bitch turned into a Frenchman. No, it ain't no we. It's you. You the problem. And they go well together. You got Dalton and Dennis Allen together, the double dumbasses. They got a new sitcom and a podcast come out. And Dennis Allen and Andy Dalton together got a new podcast. It's called The Double Dumbasses, available on Spotify. It's crazy, man. What's up, Josh? Shout out to you, bro. He says black QB shy is false because he wanted Deshaun Watson. Okay, yeah, he did want Watson. But, I just think that Dennis Allen don't know what he's doing, bro. You know what I'm saying? The man don't know what he's doing. And listen, if you don't know what you're doing, that's fine. But get somebody around you. Like once you realize, man, I'm over my head. Let me go out and I have resources here. Let me go talk to Mickey, and Mickey gonna get you whatever you want. Or like, listen, I want to get an advisor here. I think, I can use some experience around me to kind of help me out. You mind if I hire a couple of advisors? Yeah, well, would you? Well, yeah. Well, listen, Dennis, let me go ahead on and talk to, let me talk to Dennis, not Dennis Allen, but Dennis Lucia. Let me talk to Dennis. Let me see what he says, and I'll get right back to you. I'll call you right back. Then he'll talk to Dennis Lucia, and Dennis Lucia. So if you think it'll help y'all win more games, because listen, man, we're taking a ass whomping on these tickets. We getting people calling us and telling us, hey man, we better hurry up and turn this thing around, man. Oh yeah, Dennis Lucia might not know nothing about football, but one thing he do know is the bottom line. And when that bottom line starts getting real sketchy, well, if it'll end up in wins, you go ahead and get what you want. Well, I just talked to Dennis there, Dennis. Let me tell you something. He just told me, yeah, you can get it as long as you think you're going to get some wins with that. Well, look, he tells Mickey, well, look, Mickey, let me tell you. Well, listen, don't tell me, well, look, you look, buddy boy.
Let me tell you something. Don't make me come down there. I'll put a hickey on top of your head. Yeah, I know you're not confrontational, but hey, yeah, man. Ryan says, Juwan tweeted something like, sounded like he was calling out all players giving up during the Ravens game. Yeah. Said Amos had a broken back. What's Andy's excuse? A broken spine? He's spineless. Yellow back chicken. All right. Eugene said, hey, Q. DA said he's speaking French, not because he was born in France, but a tribute to Louisiana's French culture. Oh, yeah. You better find a place to go and stay with him, because in a little bit, he's going to need a place to stay. What's up, brother James? Shout out to you, bro. He says, Q, I think we should have brace for a rough season. Yeah, bro. Yeah. He said, I did. I'll give him another season with the QB DA wants that fits our system. And some more of his players he gets, it takes time, should got Bieniemy. Yeah, you did a 8, bro. Listen, brother James, shout out to you, my brother. You did a 8-hour interview, and Kevin reminded me, as GM Kev reminded me, he says, Q, they interviewed Bieniemy for 8 hours, right? And then came back to him. He had 2 interviews, one of which was 8 hours. When the last time y'all had an interview, if you're going to get a job from somebody and the people sit down there and talk to your ass for 8 hours and you didn't get whatever you was going for? You tell me that. Who interviews somebody for 8 hours and don't hire them? You see? Something about Bieniemy they like, but then again, people said Bieniemy is a guy that that's missing some things. Now, that could be bad stuff they spreading around. But listen, if somebody gonna be out there, man, word on the street. And I asked Brother Levon about that early in the stream about Mike Tomlin, and if one of those guys are available, if the Ravens don't re-up with Lamar Jackson, which I think they will, that the Saints should be a player on one of those type of, like if a Lamar Jackson's out there, you got to be, try to be a player for him and reach out and get him. But I don't have faith in the Saints to draft the quarterback and develop him into a solid quarterback into the future. They're not going to, no. They would try to find a veteran quarterback with talent and build the team around him. Like they'll be fortunate to get a Lamar Jackson. I'm not saying that they would, but that would probably be what Deshaun Watson was last year. The chase would be Lamar this year, unless the Ravens say, you know what, let's give him the bread. I don't see the Ravens not giving him his bread. I mean, they would be foolhardy not to. But what if they're not? That'll be a player. Yeah, you're right, Hennessy. Hennessy says Eric Bieniemy looking good right now. Indeed he is, bro. Yeah, it was. So, I mean, I don't know, man. It's tough, bro. We looking at it. Rich says, why put guys on the practice squad and never use them? Well, look, Rich, first of all, thank you for your chat. Well, look, let me tell you something. I have no answer for that, brother. I have to tell you, don't make no sense to me. How you sound Jordan Howard several weeks ago, and that man never got on the field, not one bit. Bro, you're preaching to the choir. Thank you, bro. Shout out to you guys, man. Thank y'all for being here, man. I'm just being here, just ranting and raving with my family, man. I just appreciate y'all letting me spit at y'all, man, and talk to y'all. And I know we just being a therapist for each other. I'm being a therapist, then I turn around and give you the hat, you be the Ryan says, we don't need more running backs. Let Taysom run the ball and line up at running back and tight end. Let Jordan Howard run and catch screens. Bro, we need to do something, bro. And when we do it, let's just keep it the same stuff, man. They cannot mimic the game plan for week to week. And if they try to mimic the game plan, they either miss on the plays, or they're, like, in terms of missing on the plays, meaning they don't know what they're doing. It's not ran with the same motivation or intensity. Now, what's interesting is Trevor Pinion is an emotional offensive lineman that plays with a nastiness. Can that reverberate over the rest of the offensive line to make them step up and play the game like that too? That's the question. Can his nasty spirit spread across the offensive line and give them an identity? Because that's the one thing I'm looking for Trevor. One of the two things I'm looking for is he's your most physical offensive lineman, because Ryan Ramczyk used to be a guy that was physical until you gave him the money. Ryan Ramczyk is since he became Big Check, bro, like I say, he a big panda bear out there. He getting everybody hugs. You walk up to Ryan Ramchick, he give you a big hug and tell you he love you. I love everybody. Give you, it's no meanness there no more. He got the money. He got the money. He just won't give everybody hugs. All right. What's up, brother Terrence? He says, Q, I love your shows, but I just don't see what y'all see in Jameis. No one wanted him this offseason but the Saints. Other than the Packers game last year, he looked bad in the Saints uniforms. He has some decent performances, I would say, brother Terrence. I think the Saints, and we talked about this on previous streams, bro, like the Saints were chasing Deshaun Watson really bad to the chagrin of Jameis. And then when they didn't get him, and they fell back to Jameis, he was the fallback option, and boy, look how it look right now. It's just bad, man. Like we only 10 weeks into the season, and the Saints he's shelved Jameis and said that Andy Dalton's the quarterback for the foreseeable future, and you got 100%. That's amazing to me, man, how bad. But that goes to the inside of the team. Like Levon Kirkland says, man, it's a mental thing. It's a mental aspect to that when the coach don't have confidence in you. And then when when Jameis started talking to beat reporters about what's going on inside the Saints building, you're gonna start seeing fractures happen throughout the team. And I said that because Dennis Allen doesn't have a strong room. So things are leaking out. He doesn't have control of the team. I don't think you should have control of the team with the iron hand. I'm saying the best way to do it is when players know that you for them and you got love for them and you'll fight for them. This guy pushed you out. If the room was on fire, Dennis Allen be the first one out the door. The hell with the players. The house on fire, Dennis Allen meet you. He the first one in the yard. Say, y'all all right? Say, Coach, hold on. Wasn't you? What? Well, hold on. What? Y'all all right? Well, you in the yard already, Coach? What about the rest of the play? Oh, well, just making sure y'all all right from out here. If it's a fire and the house on fire, Dennis Allen is the first person you meet outside the house in the yard. And when you come out there, he asks, "Are y'all all right?" Telling you, man, we got to get it together, man. It don't look good. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Thank you, brother Terrence, for that commentary. Thank you, bro. I don't think it looks pretty good, man, for Jameis Winston to be talking to beat reporters about the current state of the Saints offensive QB room right now. That creates more and more fractures. I already heard, and somebody told me that there was already a divide that happened in the locker room because of how the Saints have handled the Jameis Winston's recovery. How Dennis Allen alienated him. His team didn't like that. And from that point, according to the word on the street that I was getting, they was saying there was fractures. And I said as much. I said that last show on the prior show. I say every loss is a fracture. The team is breaking apart. Micro fractures in the team that's starting to show. So if you got the quarterback, Jameis is a third-string quarterback right now. He's the third-string quarterback. Dalton's 1, Taysom's 2, Jameis is 3. He's a third-string quarterback making $20 million over the next 2 years. There's something wrong with that. When you pay a quarterback $20 million, you're gonna live and die with him, man. That's my guy. I'm gonna ride with him. But you go with his backup and the guy's hurt, that's low. Because most coaches know that you're not supposed to. A player is not supposed to lose his job due to injury. That's something they always will say that they believe in until it's time to put it in practice. That sounds good outside the building, but when it's time to put it in practice, it falls flat often. So Jameis making $20 million or $20+ million over the next 2 years, and he's your third-string quarterback right now for Andy Dalton, and Andy Dalton is deteriorating right before our eyes. You got a living, breathing zombie up there throwing the ball past people and all this type of shit. He's not accurate. Throwing the ball, captain check down, and then when he's throwing the ball out, is inaccurate. And probably 2 times a game, you'll get a good throw from Andy Dalton. When he throws up the field, like maybe 2 or 3 throws out of the game, you'll get a good throw from Andy Dalton. But the rest of them are sailing passes or passes where wide receivers have to extend out to get to it. That type of stuff. That's what's going on here. True says, old LeVar Kirkland used to be one of my favorites as a kid. Wasn't he in the Saints uniform? Greg Lloyd too. He said, wasn't that kid that wasn't in Saints. Okay, I get what you're saying. Thank you. True. Yeah, super cool dude, man. Super cool. Very knowledgeable, man. Very knowledgeable. I was glad to get him to talk about it, man. He usually he covers Clemson. He talks about Clemson, man. But when I was like, yeah, that was pretty good. But he got a podcast. He co-hosts a podcast called Bleav in Clemson. which is a pretty good podcast, man. He comes from Clemson, man, but a really smart brother. I think he's doing coaching and stuff too. He's dealing with. Got a lot of stuff going on with that brother. Good to have him, man. I was talking about him when he used to play the Saints. You couldn't get around Levon Kirkland. Remember Greg Lloyd and them boys? Man, them dudes were serious people back in the G. Brother Verla says, Q, who catches the blame for not them? He says, who catches the blame? Not them. For them not being able to give a game plan to have players that step up like Taysom Kamara, the new kid with speed and skills. He's talking about Rashid Shaheed in the fourth when it counts. All coaching problem. Indeed, bro. You have to be able to stay on code, man. And like I said, if you got to get organized in spirit, because at certain junctures and intervals of time, you can put certain players in the game. That's how you can say also, on code with yourself. Like you don't get caught up in the flow of the game if you got a plan. In the flow of the game, if you caught up in the flow of the game, you ain't controlling the flow. They are, if you getting caught in the flow of the game, because you're supposed to be the one that control the flow. The flow in the energy or the intensity of the game is what we call momentum. And if you're not controlling the momentum, then hey, can I tell your ass? You see what I'm saying? So yeah, bro, you're right, man. The coach is he's the guy. But like I said, Dennis Allen's imprint is all over the Saints team. And they play just like they coach. They play up and down, inconsistent, crazy, back ass, all kind of stuff. That's his whole aura is over the team, and it's not a very confident aura. This will be my last one, and I'm gonna dart out. LS says, Q, did you see how Tyrann Mathieu pointed the finger on players not lining up correctly on defense when he's when he's as well is all over the damn place. See, bro, and that's interesting right there. Shout out to you, brother Elliot. Well, look. They use Dennis Allen's favorite two words. When people ask him a question, well, look. And then he says it like you upsetting him. Like, who the hell are you? You need to get this, you need to come out and get this work. You need to get this smoke. Non-apologetic ass. But brother Elliot, you're right, man. You're gonna start seeing and that's what happened with fractured teams, with teams that have no leadership. When was the last time I said that about a Saints team? Leadership with Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, and it took Alvin Kamara to get upset and have a spill out in the locker room for people to start playing well for that Raiders game. And I kept saying, family, where are the coach? Where is the team, the player only meetings? What? Remember, I kept saying that. Where are the player only meetings? There are none. So where are the leaders? The leaders sitting back here telling you, and DeMario before the Raiders game had this whole Jesse Jackson keep hope alive ass speech that I ain't want nothing to hear. I ain't want to hear none of that. No, man. No, you don't have the keep hope alive speech to me. You go talk to your teammates and tell them, listen, we out here embarrassing the Who Dat Nation. We need to step this up. And why do you wait till your team get to 3 losses before you finally, 3 wins in 6 games or 5 games, whatever it was at the time, before we started talking like this? No, teams, they stay in each other's ears. So when you start seeing finger pointing like that, when they need to be pointing the finger at themselves, Tyrann Mathieu need to point the finger at himself, bro. Because you had maybe 2 games where you really look good. The rest of these games, you look lost, bro. And it might not be totally you. It could be the defensive scheme. The energy is just not the same. And the thing is, they can't consistently maintain anything, which is a problem. You're not going to get very far in the NFL if you can't build any type of consistency. That's why I asked the question to the family. Did he ever win 2 games in a row? It's a simple sounding question, but think about that shit. You got a head coach that never won, coaching for 4 years as a head coach, right? But never won games back to back. That's problematic big time, man. But anyway, with that being said, shout out to the rest of y'all. What's up, Alpha? Shout out to you, bro. KB, shout out to you, Queen. And the rest of the family. Brother JT, I see you, fam. Shout out. With that being said, fam, I'm going to pop out on that. I appreciate y'all being in the stream tonight, man. Much love to that. What's up, Rush Hour? Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, fam. In this thing, man, we got Sunday matchup with the Saints going down against these Steelers here. Steelers are 2-6. This team is not very good. And I'm not saying just because they're not very good, we're going to win the game. I think in the Saints, after a shitty performance against the Ravens, they should turn it up and get a win over the Steelers, because that's their MO. Win, lose, win, lose, win, lose, 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 win. That's they're up and down. They're a seesaw team, much like their coach. They're a seesaw ass team. They riding that black and gold seesaw. And then until they be able to string wins together to make a step in the division. And what's helping them is the fact that the NFC South is so bad. So bad. So if the Saints can string some wins together, they can take control, man. But we'll see, bro. It's anybody guess at this point because they're so inconsistent. It's hard to get a pinpoint on them. All right. Rush Hour said, Big Q, I'm glad to be back in the chat with the fam. I was out for a while. Oh my God, no, Rush Hour. He said his son got shot. I hope your son's all right, man. My goodness, man. I got 2 sons, bro. Actually, I got 3 sons. I consider my step-up son as a son too. So yes, brother, blessings to you, bro. Hope everything is all right, my brother. Yes, indeed, man. Good Lord, man. Hope everything all right with you, man. Yeah, man. Blessings to you, bro, on that, man. That's horrible, bro. I'm sorry you went through that, bro. Hope he's all right, though. You know what I'm saying? Sorry to hear that, bro. Is he still with us, bro? I mean, is he with us? Tell me, let me know. Okay, good. Okay, good. Okay, good. Okay, he just started walking. Yeah, okay, good, bro. He's still with us. All right. Yeah. You talk about deaths in the family, bro. You know, I talk about my baby sister. She passed away earlier this year, man, and it's been a real difficult year for me. And you might not see it on me, but it's because I pour everything into, into the family. I talk to you guys, and that's, it's cheaper than to a therapist. But what I do that lessens the blow of it is I dedicate everything that I do to her and to my memory of her. I think about her and I pour everything I do into my memory. And I do a lot. I really do, family. I'm not toot my horn, but I do a lot. And I pour and I add her to it and do everything in memory of her. And it helps me stay strong. Same with my brother, Too Mean. He died 6 months before my baby sister did. He was my co-host, my best friend and co-host of the Ring Kings Boxing. And the platform is growing. And I think a lot of that is him a part of it because he put his blood, sweat and tears into it as well. And, so I use that to honor him as well. So, that's what I do. I'm a legacy guy. I'm one of those chain breakers. You know what I mean? As the people that like that every generation as a person, that faith or destiny or better yet, God chooses to say, okay, you're going to break the chains of the cycle of what your family going through. And you guys know what I'm talking about because we got a lot of people out there that break chains too. And they break the chains, whatever it is poverty or whatever it is, and they help elevate the level of the family going forward. You see what I'm saying? So that's something that I took on. My destiny put me to. So, but yeah, much love to you on that, bro. When we talking about our children, man, and something like that, that is very, that's very tough, man. And but blessings with you, my brother, that he's still here, man. And yeah, man, that's huge, bro. So yeah, you take your time, bro. We'll be here for you, bro, whenever, man. Shout out to you, my brother. Thank you. Much love to you, bro. All right, man. That's powerful, bro. All right, so yeah, I got it, bro. I'm gonna check. Yeah, I am going to check that out, bro. I'm gonna see about it. Quavatus, I got you, bro. He just read the article from Underhill. Jameis lets know it's into. He says Jameis lets know into the lies DA's been spreading. See, it's starting to crack. That's not. See, that's positive and the negative. The positive is that Jameis is talking about his coach, who's currently trying to win games in the NFL. That's another gut punch to with Dennis Allen's credibility. You see what I'm saying? So fractures in the organization. He can't control his locker room. That's what I'm saying. It's going to start falling apart, especially if they start losing. It's going to really fall apart. And now, what I told you, when he named Dennis Allen, when Dennis Allen named Dalton the starter, how he goes back to Jameis after doing that to him. Now Jameis is saying he lying to him. Now, he ain't saying he lying, but he deceived him. If he told him we're going to ride with you, and then he takes Dalton and, over you and said for the foreseeable for the rest of the season, because he gives us a better chance to win or what. He didn't say that, but he said some dumb shit we covered. I mean, it's stupid. Guy's a dummy, man. I don't like to talk that kind of that, but that's just what I see from, because he's one of these dudes, man, that is a pompous, dumb guy. It's like Bro, you know you don't know what you're doing, right? Well, look, I'm gonna do this anyway because I'm the coach. I'm the coach. I'm the coach. Dude, no, don't do that play. Don't call that play. No, we're gonna run this play. We're gonna make it successful. Complete goes to shit. Oh well, it's a bad day at the office. So he's one of these dudes that's a pompous dumbass. This is which is the one of the worst creatures you can ever create is a pompous dumbass, an egotistical person who don't know how to say or apologize when he does stuff and just puts a veneer over everything. Is a bad day at the office. No. Yeah, Pennon is supposed to be there. It's supposed to be. We'll see what about him. They just changed his designation, but they're supposed to be activating him, whether it's this week or next week. But they most certainly need him this week. If he's good to go, they should activate him tomorrow. We'll see. We'll get the word on it. J-Rock says, Big Q just thought about this. What are the chances that Jaden Daniels comes out this year and him being around long enough for the Saints to draft him? I'm hearing that, Jaden. We do Tough Tiger Talk, by the way. Thank you, bro. We do a LSU stream, and we've been talking about Jaden Daniels. Boy, was people hating on Jaden Daniels and Brian Kelly. When I started the year off and I was talking about the LSU Tigers getting Brian Kelly from Notre Dame. And I was telling them, listen, bro, this guy knows how to win. He just needs to build his team. He went to the transfer portal and had to basically build his secondary because all them guys was gone, either through the draft or they moved and transferred when Brian Kelly came on the team from Coach Orgeron. And he had all them scandals that was over the team and all that. And that man came there and he got Jaden Daniels, the transfer from Arizona State. He brought Jaden Daniels there. He installed his offense. It didn't look good at first, but they struggled. And Kayshon Boutte was the best wide receiver on LSU. He was struggling. He didn't look good. But other wide receivers like Malik Neighbors and Thomas and the rest of these guys started to step up and play. And then next thing you know, they had a play when they, had some letdown. They had a players only meeting. The college guys did this. Jaden Daniels did a players only meeting, and they all got on the same page. Now, Kayshon Boutte, Jaden Daniels, Josh Williams, who was a guy that was the third string running back at the time, and the defense stepped up. Harold Perkins Jr., which is that fantastic linebacker that was all over Bryce Young. Listen, bro, LSU materialized before our very eyes, and you got to give all that to Brian Kelly. He got the right offensive coordinator there. Mike Denbrock came over from Cincinnati. You got Matt House there, who has some NFL experience. He's the defensive coordinator there. Man, that team came together, man. They came together, and they beat Alabama and Ole Miss in back-to-back weeks. Well, they had a bye week in between that. And they sitting up there right now as the best team in the SEC West. They win out the last 3 games they'll be playing in the SEC championship up against Georgia in Brian Kelly's first year. And then his 2023 class is one of the top in college to add on what he got. Now, I'm hearing on Jaden Daniels that Jaden Daniels can play an extra year. That's what I'm hearing. That's what that I was hearing on that. So he could come back, for the next year too, but they got a lot of talented people that's there. So Jaden Daniels, Coach Kelly talked about him adding 15 pounds onto his frame. The kid is phenomenal. They was talking all kind of mess about Jaden Daniels, all kind of mess. Now they ain't talking now. They ain't talking shit about Brian Kelly no more. And I told them people that, man. I told them. I don't know if they go after Jaden Daniels, Alpha. I don't know about that, bro. I think the Saints stay away from quarterbacks. I think the Saints still gonna go in the free agency and see if they can get a quarterback that way. Could you imagine Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael trying to teach a young quarterback to play in the NFL? Oh, are you kidding me? Look how confused they got these old guys we got here. Let me get on out of here, man, before I get too far up in this thing, man. I'm about to talk Tigers. Anyway, so shout out to the fam. Yeah, Pennon, man, we'll know about Pennon. Somebody family was asking about Trevor Pennon. Pennon they changed his designation. We won't know until tomorrow or possibly prior to the matchup that the Saints probably would activate him. I say they probably going to activate him to the active roster because they need him. We're going to be missing McCoy and Andrews Pete. They could use Trevor Pennon. So I think Trevor Pennon is, even though it's not official, he's not officially activated to the active roster. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, exactly, Devin. You doing all that without Mason Smith, man. They're phenomenal, man. LSU, man, they're doing a lot of great stuff. But about Pennon, even though Pennon, he's not activated to the start like in there yet, but I think that should be something we hear about tomorrow, probably the next day. All right, so with that being said, shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all. I'm gonna get on up out of here. Shout out to our special guest tonight, Brother Levon Kirkland. Man, it was cool talking football with that brother. Really good, smart brother. We appreciate him chiming in. For my family members who want to see that interview, please feel free to kind of rewind the stream, and you can hear from Brother Kirkland. We talked about the Pittsburgh matchup. He gave his thoughts on the team and other things I was asking about, what he thought about Andy Dalton, about Jameis Winston and stuff like that. He talked about the physicality of today's game versus what it was last year. Gave a lot of good game, man. Good talking to that brother. Really cool dudes, man. Cool dudes, man. And shout out to the family. For the family members that hadn't hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button. We only a couple hundred people off for 10,000 subs, man. Can you believe it? The Sports Coma up in this thing, 8 years strong. A couple hundred subs from hitting that 10,000 marker. Be a part of that, family. If you hadn't hit the subscribe button, because we got a lot of family members that listen to the streams on social media through Facebook and Instagram and all these other places. You hit that subscribe button and join the Sports Coma YouTube, man. Hit that subscribe button and help us get over that 10,000 mark, man. 10,000. So we're a couple hundred off them. I won't say I'm not looking at it now, but yeah, it's a big marker, man, for us, man, to hit. So anyway, with that being said, man, I'm gonna get out on that. Appreciate the family members. Y'all feel free to check the LinkedIn link in the description section for all the merch and all that kind of fantastic stuff for the Sports Coma. You can get great gear like here. We got the Sports Coma Great Saint Think Tank shirt. You get one of them. They come in all colors right here, but I rocks my Great Saint Think Tank shirt. We talking to the Great Saint Think Tank. You can get gear like that and dozens of more on our merch shops. You can check it out in the LinkedIn, the description section below the LinkedIn account. You see that, you hit that button, go right into there, and they have all of the links all nice and organized for everything. Contact information, all of our social media stuff is in one link, is in the description section below. With that being said, I'm gonna pop out on that. I'll holler at y'all on the flip side. Much love to you guys, and who that?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Say they gon' beat them Saints. Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that?
out the Pro Shop. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. So check out the Pro Shop and Who That too.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, and even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us.